My name is Christy Garcia, and I'm the Director of Training for Advantage Treatment Centers. Today, we're going to be talking about Change Talk, which just happens to be one of my favorite topics. But first, please don't forget to fill out the corresponding Google form that's linked in the description of this YouTube video so that you can get training credit. And please subscribe to our channel, ATC Training. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so today's presentation is on Change Talk. And today we're going to be doing a basic overview of what Change Talk is and how we use it in motivational interviewing. Our training agenda will cover what is Change Talk exactly, how do we recognize Change Talk when we get it, what do we do with it when we hear it, and of course, some practice at the end of the video with a Google form. So first off, what is Change Talk exactly? Change Talk can transform the way we connect with clients and inspire real change. At first definition, Change Talk is really any language that moves in the direction of change. It's a term unique to motivational interviewing, originally introduced by Bill Miller and Stephen Rolnick in 2002. The purpose of motivational interviewing is to support and strengthen motivation by evoking and promoting change in a non-judgmental, supportive, and collaborative atmosphere. So it's important not only to understand what Change Talk is, but also to recognize it when you hear it and respond strategically when it occurs. So how do we do that? Recognizing Change Talk is the first step to building motivation. If we don't hear it, we miss the opportunity to reinforce and build on it. A central premise of motivational interviewing is that behavior change is more likely when clients verbalize and argue for their own change. There are two primary types of Change Talk: preparatory Change Talk, that expresses a desire to change, ability to change, reason to change, and need to change, or mobilizing Change Talk, that demonstrates a commitment to change, activation for change, and taking steps towards change. One of the biggest challenges in motivational interviewing is actually hearing Change Talk when it happens. It can be subtle or hidden within ambivalence, or we just simply miss it completely. Here are some examples of what Change Talk might sound like. Let's say our client is thinking about getting a better paying job. A desire to change might sound like, I wish I could get a better paying job. An ability to change might sound like, I think I could get a better paying job. A reason to change might sound like, if I got a better paying job, I'd finally be able to save money. A need to change might sound like, I need to get a better paying job for financial security. A commitment to change might sound like, I'm ready to start looking for a better job tomorrow. Activation for change might sound like, I created a plan to find a better paying job. And taking steps towards change might sound like, I've started submitting applications for a better paying job. When responding to Change Talk, we use our active listening skills, which is specifically our OARs. That's open-ended questions, affirmations, reflections, and summaries. If you're unsure about what active listening skills look like, or you want to know more about them, visit our other videos on each of the OAR skills. Now, once you've heard the Change Talk around a target behavior, the question becomes, what do we do now? What do I do with it? So let's go back to our earlier example. Your client says, I wish I could get a better paying job. This expresses a desire to change, which qualifies as Change Talk because of their wish to get a better paying job. We want to seize this opportunity and build on it by asking for elaboration. So you might say something like, tell me more about that wish. The client responds, it would be great to gain financial security, start building a savings account, and be able to pay off my restitution. These are all reasons for change. Financial security, building a savings account, paying off restitution. This is how we help clients verbalize change and move towards greater awareness and readiness to act. But we don't want to stop there. Let's support the change by affirming it. Positive reinforcement helps strengthen commitment and support long-term behavior change. So in our example, you might affirm the client by saying, it's great you're thinking about your future and working towards financial stability. The client responds with, thank you. I've always taken bare minimum jobs and it's gotten me nowhere. Now, We build further motivation by reflecting on what was said. It sounds like taking bare minimum jobs hasn't gotten you where you want to be, and you're starting to think about building a career that takes you further. Reflections allow clients to self-reflect on the meaning behind their words. When we explore the deeper meaning, clients often expand, adding context, elaborating on their thoughts and feelings, and they often voice even more change talk. In our example, we heard a lot of language moving towards getting a better paying job. We can take this further by summarizing what we've heard and then inviting deeper reflection. So for an example, you could say, I'd like to reflect on what you've said so far. You mentioned wanting a better paying job, recognizing that the bare minimum jobs you've taken haven't paid off, and feeling ready for something more stable and financially secure. What does finding that kind of job look like for you? Using ORs allows us to strategically build motivation and help clients verbalize and own their change. If you're curious about ORs or want additional practice, don't forget you can check out our previous videos covering each active listening skill. Now, it's important to note when we're talking about changed behavior and change talk, what if they don't verbalize it? It is important to note here that change is hard, and we always meet clients where they are at in this given stage of change that they're in. Sometimes instead of change talk, we might get a response that's more like sustain talk, which is any language that supports staying the same. But don't fret, that's a natural part of the change process, and we'll cover that in a future video. Remember, every time you recognize and nurture change talk, you help a client move one step closer to a lasting transformation. And that's Change Talk 101. Now let's practice. Click the link in the video description to access the Google form and make sure to sign in using your ATC Google email account. If it doesn't let you click the link, you can copy and paste it. Read the scenarios and answer the questions to receive 30 minutes of training credit for both the form and this video. You can also request feedback or sign up for coaching on that same Google form. Keep an eye out for more training content and videos posted on our YouTube channel, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching.